Today is all about sunflowers and bees. So stick around to see how I made these gnomes and 4 other sunflower and bee themed crafts. DIY number 1. For this project, I'm repurposing an old clock. The clock had broken and I didn't want to get rid of the housing, so I'm going to take a piece of cardboard, Mod Podge, some florals, piece of scrapbook paper, and I'm going to turn it into a shadow box. So this is the easy part. I'm taking this and I'm just going to trace it, cut it out, and then I'm using matte finish Mod Podge on the backing, which is cardboard from my soda case or whatever, and just stick that down there and put another layer of Mod Podge over the top, and that's the easy part. I'm letting it dry. I want to make sure it's good and sealed, and then we'll let it go. Now I'm just going to paint the frame. I used painter's palette black. It's from Plaid Crafts, and now it's all painted. And this is dry. Just kind of flatten it out. So I'm trying not to get any prints on my glass. So I'll just stick that down in there, and I'll use my handy dandy glue gun and glue that down in. Now that that's glued in and secured, I'm going to take just these little sunflower heads that I have, and I'm going to trim off the stems, and I'm just going to shove them in there willy-nilly. I didn't have as much room as I thought I was going to do for them to like slide around or whatever, but that's okay. I like what it looked like after I was finished with it, so that's what I do here, is I just shove all that back in. Now I've got my flowers in here, and I'll go ahead and take my glass and shove it back on there. As you can see, it's a very tight fit. They don't really wiggle around like I was hoping, but it all works out in the end. So just messing around with them, trying to get them to fit better. And then I go ahead and I'm going to hot glue the front frame thing back on because I lost the screws. And that is it. It was a pretty quick and easy little flip repurpose. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it's super cute. I can set it on a shelf, hang it on a wall, whatever I want to do. DIY number 2. So I've got a quick one here. I'm just going to take the scrapbook paper and I'm going to apply it to these wood slices, cut those out, and I'm just going to use some Mod Podge dishwasher safe on these. I was inspired by Z9 Designs, and I will link her right up there in the cards. And she had done this for the What Would You Make challenge, and I said, well, that's perfect, absolutely perfect for what I wanted to do for this challenge. So I used a couple of good layers of Mod Podge on these slices. They were pretty dry and it kind of soaked it right up. So I put another pretty good goopy layer there before I put on the paper. And then I put a couple of good coats over top of that. You know, I'm going to use them as coasters. I don't want them to, you know, get damaged in any way. So I wanted to make sure that they were all sealed up nice. And this was just a quick and easy craft, and yeah, you'll see how these look at the end. But it was super simple, and you know, I was able to use up the rest of that paper that I used for the first craft. Just a really good thing. DIY number 3. So here I'm repurposing a couple of boxes. These were from Dollar General. They were $1 a piece. And this is a body cam that I got from Amazon. But it's a really cool box. So I thought I would take the two together and like turn them into a little book stack. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint them both white and decorate them all up. Make them look pretty cute. I'm using Mod Podge on the first box to give it give the paint something to stick to because it's got a very shiny coating on it. And I'm only going to go over where the, you know, where the text and stuff is, and I didn't even bother to get the sticker off. It's going to be on the bottom. And this one, yeah, it ended up giving me fits, but it will. So I'm going to use the Painter's Palette White from Plaid Crafts. These were available at our Family Dollar. I don't know if they are anymore, but so I'm just going to give these both a couple of coats of white paint, make sure that they're, you know, nice and coated. Now I used Print Then Cut from my Cricut and came up with this little design. It was in Design Space, so I wanted to use that, and I've got some words. So what I'm going to do is, again, coat with a layer of Mod Podge. Did I coat Mod Podge? No, I didn't. Okay, I don't know. I'm laying out what I want it to look like, and I'm going to use some of this antiquing wax from Folk Art. This is the first time I've used it, so I'm not real sure how well I did. all the rest of the crafting community seems to have this down pat. Me, I'm a newbie, so you can let me know what you think in the comments below. I do have baby wipes, not just because of the impending arrival of the grandchildren, but because stain paint. So I'm dry brushing, well, attempting to dry brush. I don't know how to do that stuff. Excuse me. So I saw that I went a little heavy, but oh well. It is what it is. Happy accidents, everybody. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, smear it all over the place. And then I'll take the baby wipe and wipe it back, and then go back and forth and back and forth. And you all know how it goes. So, oops. And once I have that done, then I can apply my vinyls. Okay, so I decided instead of putting on the vinyls, I wanted to add honeycomb. So I'm using Folk Art Multi-Surface in Moon Yellow and some bubble wrap. And I don't remember who did this first. I've seen it all over the place, and I said, well, I'm going to try it. So, you know, and if we shop online, you probably got bubble wrap. So this is a great way to use it. So I just plop some paint down on there and deciding where I want to put my little spots of honeycomb. Just lightly pressing down on it. As you can see, it's not in, you know, wasn't even pressure or whatever, but just kind of went over there on the sides, and I'm just kind of splotching it around, just wherever, I don't know. But I think it's such a cute, you know, it's super cute. What I would like better though is if it was reversed, then it would actually look probably more like honeycomb, but you know, hey, we use what we have to work with, right? That's what it's about. So now I can add my vinyls, finally. And you'll see later, I end up changing the color of the sunflower to better match the paint. I don't know what I was thinking. I just defaulted to what Cricut Design Space had for the color. So I want to apply this across the two books, air quotes. And then I can... yeah, it's just going to stay there. It started to tear. I used a glossy sticker paper. So you can watch me fiddle with how to figure out how to cut this. I'm such a genius sometimes. So I just grabbed my X-Acto knife to slice through there. And you can't see because my fat head was in the way, but there it is. I got it cut, and now it's split there in half, and I can just, you know, I'm gonna flip that over the side. I do end up Mod Podging over top of all this just to seal everything together, but not yet. So now I have that down. I'm going to tone down that white a little bit with some of this antiquing wax, and I just use it on the baby wipe. Just sticking it right down in there in the top and just kind of rub it on, which It's a glossy, yeah, I didn't really want to work. I don't know. I should have took the brush to it this time. I should have used the baby wipe on the paint and, you know, vice versa. Anyway, so just going along. But it's cute in the end. That's all that matters, right? So I can just get my words. It says, blessed be honeybee. I couldn't really think of anything else I wanted to say for it, but I thought it was cute. And I was going to use the sunflower ribbon, but I ended up scratching that idea. Didn't really like it after all. But the idea is that she can just, you know, slip the tie off of it and use the little boxes to store little trinkets and keepsakes from the baby. And it'll be a decor piece that she can leave sit up on a shelf somewhere, and, you know, just a little hiding spot for the things that she wants to keep. So just give it a little shoestring bow at the top, and that's pretty much it. Easy peasy. This video is part of the Bloom with Grace challenge. And this challenge is hosted by Brenda over at Monner's Market. And her co-host for this is Tammy with Happiness Created Crafts. And I saw that they had posted this on Instagram, and I saw sunflowers and bees. And y'all know your girl had to be there. I love my sunflowers, and my daughter's doing her baby nursery with bees. So this was a win-win for me. Make sure that you check out in my description box. I will have Brenda's and Tammy's links along with the link to the playlist, so you can go and check out all of the amazing crafters that are participating in this challenge today. So let's check out the last two crafts. DIY number 4. So this one is pretty typical. It's just a bead garland. The only difference in mine, I think, well, not really a difference in mine, but my tassel's a little different than usual, and I don't know. So I'm going to use my beads, and again, I'm coming in with the Moon Yellow from Folk Art Multi-Surface. There we go. And the Painter's Palette Black and the Painter's Palette White to color my beads. So I'm going to use these skewers. I will line up all my beads and paint some white spacer beads, and then yellow and black for, you know, with different sizes for kind of like a pattern. So I'll go ahead and jump over to where I have everything painted. Now I wanted to jump in quick here and show I took 2 really big beads, and I'm going to give them some bee stripes. So is this a thing, like is it a white, is it yellow with black stripes or black with yellow stripes? Is it like a zebra? How you know, is it black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, my beads are yellow with black stripes. At least these 2 are going to be. And yeah, so I'm just going to stripe them. Now I didn't figure you needed to see me string all these beads. Just kind of fly through, jumped in the middle. I had a pattern that I was going by, and it didn't work out that way, so I just kind of, I don't know, changed it on the fly. But so I just string up all of these beads together in kind of a random pattern. I end up making 2 of these garlands, and apparently I'm off camera all this time. Didn't know that. You can see the little bee over there, the other bee over there. Yeah, I did 2. One is quite longer than the other, but that's okay. And my daughter's already picked out which one she wants. So I just kind of hold it up there to see if I'm close to the pattern I was looking at before. And I mean, it's stringing a bead garland. Anybody who's done this in the crafting community knows it's what it is. I'll just go ahead and finish getting all my beads together, get all the strands done, counting and seeing how many I have left, and then I can finish off the ends. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the tags, and like before, I used the print then cut feature on the Cricut to do 2 new stickers, that same design from my book stack. And you can tell I changed the color of the yellow so it's a little more complementary. Still not quite the same, but it's closer. It looks really neon on camera for some reason. But so what I did is I just stuck them on the tags. I got these tags from, where did I get these tags? Dollar General. Yeah, I got the pack of tags at Dollar General. I just painted them white, both sides. And I end up taking the X-Acto knife and trimming off the little edges, but that's okay. And apologies for the shaky camera there. I must have bumped it. So what I'm going to do next is work on the tassel. Now I have some leftover fabric from the cute little guys you'll see in a minute, and I'm going to use this fabric to help make the tassel. I'm going to cut it into strips with my rotary cutter, and between that and the black macrame cord, that's going to be what I make my tassel from. And it's really shabby chic. So Indiana Jones, I think you'd like this one. Anyway, so yeah, I don't fray it out or anything. I just leave it, you know, chunky like that. So I'm just determining how long I want it to be. And wow, my camera went blurry. What happened there? And then I just, there we go, figure out about how long I want it and go ahead and cut it. And I do 2 tassels the same way. And this fabric is like a, I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but it's like a super, like a stretchy, silky, I don't know, it was like a sports type fabric. It's like a sports wicking, sweat wicking kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I picked it up at a thrift store. It's our local high school team's colors is yellow and black too. So, but I thought it was the perfect thing for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on from here, cut the strips and start to assemble the tassels. So I've got my strips cut, and then I'll go ahead and measure out the black macrame just to see how much I'm going to need. And, you know, like I will trim it, so it's not going to be exact. This stuff is kind of hard to hold on to and work with, actually. It's really slippery. But I made it work. I made it work. So I'm just figuring that out. And here it's time to start putting it together. And I kind of, I don't know, again, I was out of frame and didn't notice there for a minute. So I'm just kind of looping it through, and I'm not quite sure what my train of thought was behind this. I don't know. It worked. That's all I care about. Maybe for the aesthetic of it. Just looping it through, and then, you know, I'll tie a knot, hot glue it, and get that bead secured on the, you know, on the twine there. I probably would have used the macrame cord, but it's too thick to get through the smaller, I guess I was trying to feed that in there. It's too thick to get through the smaller beads, so I just went with the twine instead because that'll go through pretty easily. And then it's on to the tassels. Finishing those. So just take the twine, find the center spot after I fix all the strings, and just, you know, tie it in a knot, get it all nice and secure. See, I told you, this stuff was kind of a pain to work with. I couldn't get it to lay the way I wanted to. I fought with it for a good minute or two. But that's okay. It looks cool in the end. There we go. So just tied the twine, the top, I guess I lost that footage. And taking that black macrame cord, tying it around nice and tight, trimming it off, and I will hot glue that, because not only am I going to hot glue it to secure it, but I want to put some cute little bees. I got these little 3D bee stickers. Yeah, that didn't work. Got these cute little 3D bee stickers from Amazon a while back, and I have just been waiting for the right time to use them. So They already have an adhesive back, but I wanted to hot glue them anyway. So I just stuck 2 on there to, you know, kind of hide that knot and give it a little cute thing. And see, it's all messy, but we're gonna give him a haircut. I'll just chop it off. These are my dressmaker shears and they are getting dull. So yeah, cute little tassel, a little different. A shabby chic, and there it is. And like I said, I ended up making 2 of these, and they are just adorable. I showed a picture to my mom, and she's like, where's mine? So I have to make another one. But that's okay. I don't mind. DIY number 5. And here is the final project, my gnomes. I had these athletic socks that are yellow and black, and I've got some faux fur, the bee stickers, black chenille stems. I've got some white tulle, which I'll be using. I also have white chenille stems, and this is those. They're lentils, and that's the t-shirt fabric. So first I'm going to put together the wings, because what's a bee without wings? And that's what the tool is for. And so I just shape the pipe cleaners into wings and wrap the tool around and glue it all down, cut it out. It's pretty easy to make them, really. And I switched to a black background so you can see better exactly how I do this. So what I did is I just put a thin line of hot glue along the one side, and I do this for both. And I will flip that over and plop it down on the tool. Same for the other one. This spool that I have is, I actually have 2. I had these, I bought them at Dollar Tree in 2005, y'all. I used this stuff to wrap the bubbles that were at that we used at our wedding in lieu of birdseed or anything like that. I wanted to have bubbles, so that's what we had. And I wrapped like 150 things of bubbles with ribbon and tulle for our wedding. It was crazy. And let me tell you, most of my decor, my flowers, ribbons, stuff like that, came from the Dollar Tree even then. So we all love our Dollar Tree. So once that glue is set, then I can go ahead and just start cutting this tool out around, getting as close to the pipe cleaners as possible without actually cutting them. And after making them, after doing this, I have thought of a couple of different ways I could have done this instead, but I didn't know. I just kind of went with it. And I'll say I was inspired by Lori Bly DIY, who I will also put in the cards. She does some amazing gnomes. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to clean up my little space here. Now on to the gnome bodies. These socks, let me tell you, they are so stretchy. I mean, they again, something else I picked up at the thrift store, and yeah, they're super stretchy. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut them down. I ended up cutting this one a little too long, but it's okay. I fix it later. And what I did then is just hot glued, I turn it inside out and then hot glue the seam. None of this is sewn together. It's all done with hot glue. And once I get that done, then I can go ahead and fill it up. And I used a bag and a half. I made 2 gnomes. I used 3 bags total. I used a bag and a half of the lentils to fill these to fill these guys up. So once it's filled, then I can tie off the top and continue on. So here I've just got the hat cut out, and again, hot glue only. And I'm just run a bead up along the side to make the seam. And my smart self forgot to get my protectors out. So I burned my fingers more than once during this process. But yeah, so I got the hat made, and it's time to finally get my big boy taken care of here. So I'm opening up this package that I got from Amazon, the faux fur, and figuring out how much I need. And I end up making enough, or cutting enough for 2 gnomes. Trying to figure out how to cut it without like cutting into a bunch of that fabric or that faux fur. And this seemed to work out okay. And it nearly wrapped around the whole thing, but I didn't really want it to go that far, so I ended up just cutting it in half. And I think I show that. Yeah, I just cut it in half. Just enough for him to have a face there. So just again hot gluing it down, making sure that I got a nice bead of it there. I already figured out where I wanted the hat to sit and the nose and everything. So this is just, you know, I'm just tweaking it a little bit, making sure that I have it where I want it. He's so floppy and fluffy and fat. But it's adorable. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. So the next thing to do is, you know, work on the nose and get him all decorated and stuff. Now here you see me trying to figure out how to get this tubby guy a little thinner, okay? Only because I wanted it to stand up a little better, and his floppy butt just wasn't working out so well. So here's how I end up fixing this situation, and it actually ends up working out really well. So I took a black pipe cleaner and just wrapped it around the center of the body. Yeah, that's it. So that was pretty easy. And it actually worked out a lot better. I could see now. I'm going to show you on the second one. I'm going to do the same thing here. I just take it and wrap it right through the center. And yeah, I mean, bees don't actually look like that, but they kind of do. So it kind of works, right? But I don't know. This is real life. This is what happens when you don't plan ahead, I guess. I didn't do all of my research, okay? But that works out a little better. And it gives it a little, like, channel for me to be able to glue the wings in, too. Which I'm going to do next, is glue his wings on. Oh, and his beard. Yeah, I forgot him. Yeah, just like that. So I will come back when that's ready. So I've got the wings glued down, and now I want to add some antenna. So all I'm going to do is just take the pipe cleaner and shove it through the hat. I do snip 2 little holes, curl it in some more so they're not so long. And since the sock's the knit is very loose now, with all the stretchy bits, I guess, it was able to just pretty much shove it right through there. So that's what I do. I cut 2 little holes, shove the little antennas right through it, boom, done. On to the next, which is the nose. And, oops. So I was trying to decide whether I wanted to use black or white, and in the end I ultimately ended up choosing white. So I painted, one is one of those little mini Pong balls from Dollar Tree, And the other is just a bead, a wood bead that didn't actually get drilled properly or something. So it worked out in my favor that way. So I'm just, yeah, look how cute it's coming together. I love him. He's adorable. So just glue the nose down, and you know, I'll tuck the hat also around to make sure it stays down nicely. Bring the spider webs along with. You know how it is when you use hot glue. He's got a runny nose there. There we go. So cute. But he is missing something. I think we need to add some stuff to this guy. So, flowers. Let's add some flowers. So I guess looking at this, he's actually a sunflower gnome, not a bee gnome, but he has wings, so I don't know. So I'm just kind of taking my sunflower heads, because I have tons of them, and adding them, and also using those same bees from the other, and having an issue getting that open. There we go. Let's just pour them out. We need a lot. So, like I did with the tassel on the bead garland, I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue, even though they're adhesive, because I wanted to stay. Just a little dab. And I'm just going to randomly just stick the bees all over the little guy. He's the bee gnome. He's the sunflower. I don't know, whatever. The bees love him, okay? And who wouldn't? Look how cute. So I just wanted to make sure he was festooned with bees. Got one on his little nose there. And I do end up I put more on, a few here and there. And you'll see at the end what I did with both of them and how they look. And I'm out of frame here. I didn't know. There we go. Giving him a little topper on his hat there. Another little flower. Making sure it all stays super cute. And he's amazing. Look at him. Now this is the second one actually. But yeah, I got these from Amazon. So you might want to check those out if you're doing bee stuff. And let's see how everything looks. And there's the Repurposed Clock face shadow box. The coaster is inspired by Z9 Designs. Thank you for that. The Blessed Bee, Honeybee books, boxes, and Garland. And my favorite guys, my cute little gnomes. Oh my gosh, they're so adorable. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Go check out everybody in the playlist. Go see all of the gorgeous sunflower and bee themed stuff. I cannot wait to see everything. Oh my gosh. If you haven't already, could you take a moment and consider subscribing? I'm getting pretty close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I'd like to hit it by the end of December. So could you help me out? Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Take care, y'all. Bye.